Rohan was known in his small town as an ordinary boy with ordinary dreams. He lived in a narrow street where houses stood close to each other, and everyone knew everyone's story. His father worked in a small repair shop, fixing old fans and radios, while his mother stitched clothes at home to support the family. Money was always just enough, never more. Rohan went to a government school, wore the same faded uniform every year, and walked to school with dusty shoes and big thoughts in his mind. From a young age, Rohan dreamed of becoming successful, but he never clearly understood what success really meant. Sometimes he imagined a big house, sometimes respect from people, and sometimes just a peaceful life where his parents did not worry about money. He often looked at posters of famous people on the walls of shops and wondered how they reached such heights. He believed there must be some secret, some shortcut that made them different from ordinary people like him. In school, Rohan was an average student. He was not weak but not excellent either. He understood lessons but rarely worked hard. Whenever exams came, he studied only a few days before and hoped for good luck. Sometimes luck helped him pass, sometimes it didn't. Teachers often told him, "You have potential, but you don't use it." Rohan nodded, but deep inside he felt confused. He wanted success, but effort felt heavy and tiring. One day, a new teacher joined the school. His name was Mr. Sharma. He was not very strict, but his eyes were sharp and calm. He taught mathematics, a subject most students feared. On his first day, he wrote a simple line on the blackboard: "Hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard." The students looked at it, some smiled, some ignored it. Rohan read it again and again, but it did not touch him deeply at that moment. Weeks passed and Mr. Sharma noticed Rohan. He saw how Rohan answered questions correctly sometimes but failed in tests. One afternoon after class, Mr. Sharma called Rohan and asked him to sit. He asked simple questions about Rohan's dreams. Rohan hesitated, then said he wanted to be successful and make his parents proud. Mr. Sharma smiled and asked, "And what are you doing for that dream?" Rohan had no answer. He looked down, feeling uncomfortable. That evening, Rohan walked home slowly. The question kept echoing in his mind. At home, he saw his father repairing a fan under dim light and his mother stitching clothes with tired eyes. He suddenly felt a strange pain in his chest. He realized that his parents were working hard every single day without complaint, while he was waiting for success without effort. The next morning, Rohan decided to change something, even though he did not know exactly how. He woke up earlier than usual, and opened his books. At first, his mind wandered. His eyes felt heavy. He wanted to close the book and sleep again. But he remembered his parents' tired faces and Mr. Sharma's question. He forced himself to read slowly and patiently. The first few days were very difficult. Rohan struggled to focus. He made timetables but failed to follow them properly. Sometimes he felt like giving up and returning to his old habits. But each time he felt weak, he reminded himself why he started. He started studying daily, even if only for a short time. He practiced math problems again and again, even when he made mistakes. Gradually, something changed. Concepts that once felt confusing started becoming clear. His confidence slowly grew. When Mr. Sharma asked questions in class, Rohan began raising his hand more often. Sometimes his answers were wrong, but Mr. Sharma encouraged him to try again. Instead of feeling embarrassed, Rohan started seeing mistakes as part of learning. At home, his parents noticed the change. Rohan spent more time with books and less time outside. His mother quietly smiled when she saw him studying late at night. His father did not say much, but his eyes showed pride. This silent support gave Rohan more strength. Months passed and the final exams came. Rohan was nervous, but this time his fear was different. He knew he had worked hard. When the results were announced, Rohan scored much higher than before. He was not the top student, but the improvement was clear. Teachers praised him and Mr. Sharma patted his shoulder gently. For Rohan, this moment felt like a small victory, but a powerful one. After school, Rohan aimed to get admission into a good college. The competition was tough and many students joined expensive coaching centers. Rohan could not afford them. For a moment, doubt returned to his heart. He wondered if hard work alone was enough. But then he remembered how far he had come without shortcuts. He decided to trust the same path. He borrowed books from the library, watched free lectures, and studied late into the night. There were days when he felt exhausted, days when nothing made sense, and days when he questioned himself. But he did not stop. He learned to manage his time, waking up early and using every free moment wisely. Slowly, discipline became part of his life. When the entrance exam results came, Rohan's hands trembled as he checked his score. He had cleared it, not with a top rank, but good enough to secure admission into a decent college. His parents were overjoyed. His mother's eyes filled with tears and his father hugged him silently. That hug carried years of struggle and hope. College life was different and challenging. Students around Rohan were confident, some richer, some smarter. At first, he felt small again, but he had learned an important lesson already. Instead of comparing himself with others, he focused on improving himself. He attended classes regularly, completed assignments on time, and asked questions without fear. There were failures too. He failed his first internal test and felt broken. Old doubts returned, whispering that maybe success was not for him. That night he could not sleep, but instead of quitting, he analyzed his mistakes. He worked harder, changed his study methods, and asked for help from teachers and friends. The next test, he performed better. Years passed like this, filled with effort, struggle, and growth. Rohan graduated with good results. He was not the most brilliant student, but he was known as someone reliable and hardworking. During campus placements, many students were rejected. When Rohan's turn came, he spoke honestly about his journey, his struggles, and his willingness to work hard. The interviewers listened carefully. A few weeks later, Rohan received a job offer. It was not a very big company, but it was a solid start. When he held the offer letter in his hands, memories of his past flashed before his eyes. The narrow street, the dim light, the tired faces, the early mornings, the long nights, everything felt connected. On his first day at work, Rohan stood among many professionals. He felt nervous but excited. He promised himself that he would give his best just like he had done before. He knew the journey did not end here. Success was not a final destination but a continuous process. Years later, Rohan returned to his hometown not as a famous person but as a confident one. The same streets, the same houses, but his perspective had changed. He visited his old school and met Mr. Sharma. They talked for a long time. Rohan thanked him, but Mr. Sharma smiled and said, "I only showed you the door, you walked through it yourself." As Rohan walked back home, he realized something simple yet powerful. There was no secret shortcut to success, no magic formula, only consistent effort, patience, and belief in oneself. Hard work did not change things overnight, but it changed the person who practiced it every day. Rohan looked at the sky, took a deep breath, and smiled. He knew his story was still being written, one hardworking day at a time.